So it's Dr. Dena, Innovator in Health and Wellness, and today is June the 17th, 2026. And this is going to be a video that I'll attach to my digital book that I'm working on right now called Aging Like a Fine Fiddle. So the first video that we did, we talked about breath and how the breath coordination between your core and the pelvic floor really helps support the organs of your pelvis. So we were playing French music, if you remember, and we talked about why French women don't pee their pants and why they have better sex. And basically that coordination of the pelvic floor was the reason. You know, the pelvic floor muscles provide a hammock for the organs of the pelvis. And then we talked about, in the second video, the homunculus, and how this is a map, a representation of the brain, and how different body parts have different cortical representation of the brain. And we looked at hand movements. So we talked about grip strength and using Chinese balls to support a healthy brain and to keep your brain youthful and sharp. So today I'm going to kind of springboard off a comment that I had from a Facebook friend this week. You can scroll down. And she said, Dena, you have like a photography picture on your cover. I would like to see the real you with the wrinkles and with the spots and, you know, anything else that comes with healthy aging. And I said, you know what, that's a great idea. So this video, I have no makeup. You see me just wash my face. So this is the raw, real Dena. And hoping that I can share some information with you on face and stress. And the idea of wrinkles is a good idea because, you know, some wrinkles will come from natural expressions, seeing a sunrise, being happy, joyful. They create, you know, memories, right, in your skin. But sometimes we will wear stress on our face. And most people think about stress in the mind, but really the face is the first thing that most people see. So I'll talk about some techniques, simple techniques you see me do. That's my normal facial routine in the mornings. So I will use Deanna Deal is my holistic, you know, she's my holistic esthetician, and Nellie, you know, Nellie DeVos is the cleanser I sometimes use, or this soap. It's a fat soap from Dr. Cheryl Lysette, because the important thing with skin is not to strip the natural oils. So if you're washing your skin too much, you can actually create more dryness. So the idea is just to cleanse your skin without stripping out the natural oils. Sometimes what I'll use instead of washing my face is chlorine dioxide. Or if I have a spot or something that I'm concerned about, a mole or anything, you know, I'll just spray it with the chlorine dioxide. And I've talked about that many times, but it's the #1 thing in my first aid kit. So washing your face, and then I used aloe vera. You know, nothing so, you know, sometimes the beauty industry, you know, has us spend a lot of money on products when sometimes the simplest, most natural solutions are most helpful. So I just use some aloe vera on my skin first, just to kind of heal it and supply moisture. And then I use something called soursop, unrefined soursop oil. And soursop has many different benefits, but it's a great facial oil, and it allows me to massage or get in there, you know, around my face. So the points you see me massaging around here, you could see the difference, right, in that Orbicularis oculi muscle, which is the big muscle that goes around your eye, when I was just pulling it up, you know, and resisting a little bit, like trying to close your eye, right, and then releasing it and stretching it. So that's taking into account a principle called PNF stretching, or proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. You contract the muscle first, and then it'll stretch a little better afterwards. You contract the opposite and opposing muscle that you're wanting to stretch. So where was I with that? Yes, so the oil just allows me to kind of smooth around a little bit. And often with our face, it's gravity, right, that's pulling down, as well as muscle tension. So I'll show you some other techniques for jaw and face in just a second. But in massaging, right, the skin, massaging upwards, This is important to relax the muscles, but also to help with lymph drainage. So the lymph system doesn't have a pump like the blood system does. And there's some debate about that. But the lymph system depends on skeletal muscle contraction or gentle massage in order to move it around. And we have a large chain of cervical lymph nodes that come down underneath the SCM muscle. So just some gentle techniques, massaging down your neck, not only helps with neck tension, but helps reduce the tension in your face and your jaw. You can use some little tools. You see me use a gua sha tool or guasha tool, you know, to help with that kind of effleurage and to help with that lymph drainage. But you can also use your hands. Your hands are the most powerful healing devices that you have. Your right hand is positive, your left hand is negative, and each finger has a charge. Thumbs are neutral. So using your fingers and your hands on your own face is like an electrical massage in addition to the products you're using. And then I have some vitamin A and vitamin C that I often put on my face in the mornings. And again, I use a little bit of frankincense. I have some sun damage here on my nose, so I use a little bit of frankincense oil on any spots. Smells great, you know, really puts you in that spiritual mindset and relaxes you, right? Which ultimately is how you reduce the stress in your face. So let me show you a picture first. So why I'm doing face, again, is because on the homunculus, we've seen how the face and jaw have a large representation. So last day we did the hand, but now the face and the jaw. So I'll show you, we'll talk about some techniques. But let's do a quick anatomy lesson first. So we have the temporalis muscle, which is a fan-shaped muscle that goes over your ear, and that's responsible for movement of the jaw, chewing. Then we have the masseter and the Buccinator muscles, which are for clenching right here. And you can see the SCM. And then the pterygoid muscles are inside your jaw, and those muscles open, but also shift your mouth from side to side. So stress posture, right, can show in our eyes, right, if we're tense. Furrowed brow, right, crow's feet can be if we're tense or we're in pain. You often might see, you know, somebody clenching, right, if they're upset or mad. Raised shoulders, right, this is kind of like a protection. Raised shoulders, head forward, you know, shoulders rounded. Furrowed brow, rigid posture. So, you know, bringing your shoulders back and down, right? Allowing your neck to be in a neutral position instead of forward is also part of good facial, looking youthful, let's say. And I've seen a dermatologist talking about, you know, neck exercises that I used to give patients for 20 years. And basically it was strengthening, right, the anterior neck muscles and posterior as well. So pushing back into a wall, for example, with your chin neutral helps reverse this position and also helps prevent a double chin, right? Because if you are forward like this, you're going to get a double chin. So lifting up, like if you were being pulled up by the crown of your head by a hair, and pushing back into the wall also helps posture and drainage, right, from your neck. So let's start with the masseter. Let's start with the TMJ. So temporomandibular joint, what is that? It's where the mandible, this bone, attaches to the temporal bone. So this is jaw motion. Right? Sometimes if you have a cervical subluxation or your neck is tilted slightly, your jaw can't track normally, right? Instead of doing this with gravity, your jaw has to do this. So some people have TMJ problems or have teeth problems or problems biting, and it's not inherent to the jaw, it's actually a function of what's happening to the neck. So, you know, I'm a bit biased, but I like chiropractors for sorting that through. And for years, the TMJ specialist, Dr. Alganiti, used to refer patients to me to assess, right, jaw and neck function. So that's how closely they're related. But so some simple exercises that you can do is just pinching your cheek, the masseter muscle. So if you're bringing the muscle fibers together, it helps them relax. This was There's an applied kinesiology technique that I learned from Dr. Sheldon Deal. He's a naturopath, a chiropractor, applied kinesiologist, many different things. And there's a test that I do if I'm working with people using applied kinesiology where I can actually test which muscle needs to be worked on. But when you're working on yourself, you can just do it all. Work on them all. And you know, an area that is tight or feels tender is probably an area you need to work on more. So just squeezing your cheeks together like this, okay? So that muscle, you'll see, runs in this direction, right? Up and down here. If you're not sure, you can clench and you can feel those where those muscles are, okay? So you're gonna have go to each end of the muscle and you're just gonna be like pulling your cheek together this way and then this way. So like grandma, you're so cute. Just sort of stretching, right? Those masseter and Buccinator muscles. Buccinator, Buccinator. Okay, so that's the first exercise. And then the second one is the temporalis. Remember, that is the fan-shaped muscle that goes around your ear. Okay, so what you can do there is pull your fingers together. So imagine a fan-shaped muscle going around your head and you're just pulling it together like this, all the way around. You can do both sides together. So you'll be able to feel if one of those is tight. You can see as I'm stretching, right? See how my eyes are going up? So if these muscles are tight, it's gonna give you that look on your face, that old angry look. So again, stretching these muscles in your head and your jaw affects your face and that youthful appearance. So again, hand and finger squeezing. This brings the muscle spindles together, shortens the muscle, and helps the muscle relax, okay? The third muscle that's really important in jaw is the pterygoid muscle. You don't need gloves, but I'm just gonna put one on because I have cream on my hands and I don't wanna put it in my mouth, especially the frankincense. So it's a muscle that's on the inside of your jaw. So if you take your opposite hand, so this is my left, I'm gonna use my right hand, and you slide your fingernail next to your teeth, and you push out, you'll be pushing out onto the pterygoid muscle. So you will feel like a little band on, you know, they could be equal on both sides. You can try it on both sides and see how it feels. But you can just massage it, it's not gonna hurt. If you don't need it massaged, it's not gonna hurt. If you do need it massaged, it'll probably be painful. But if you can do some quick little, let's say massages, so it's not like you're holding tension, you're just doing quick little stretches. Okay, I'll show you. So when that pterygoid muscle is tight, what will happen is it will affect jaw function, but it can also give you headaches. It can lead to ear issues, sinus problems, many other things. Same thing on the other side. So you slide your fingernail side, opposite hand, around the back of your teeth, and then you're pushing out into your jaw. And you're gonna do quick little movements. 1, 2. So it's a little tender. So that takes care of the four most important jaw muscles. Masseter, the Buccinator muscle, and the temporalis, and the pterygoids. Now the Orbicularis, like we talked about, the Orbicularis oculi is the muscle that goes around your eye. It's a round muscle. And there's many different acupuncture points. So that's why you see me spending so much time on my eyes. So you have like your gallbladder and your stomach points all around your eye. So this is great for releasing tension right at the edge of your eyebrow. Basically a little acupuncture point, or an acupuncture point, which you can do acupressure on, is almost like a little divot. So right now, if you're watching, you can slide off your eyebrow and you can feel like a little divot. This is a powerful point. And there's another video where I discuss in detail more of the acupuncture points on your face. But if you're massaging just in general and massaging your ears, because in auricular acupuncture, all the points of the body are represented on your ears. So that's a powerful way to massage. So let me just see if I have everything. We talked about the jaw, right, holding stress. And it can give you difficulties with biting, but it can also age you. The neck and shoulders, so we talked about massaging down the neck and keeping your head in a neutral position. You can actually do some shoulder rolls to help if you're finding that your shoulders are really tight. You know, rolling your shoulders back and down is always helpful. And neck range of motion. So turning your head side to side as far as you can, looking up, looking down. You can do it maybe 5 or 6 times each, right? Ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. If you don't have any cervical difficulties, problems with your neck, you can actually do some resisted exercises, 1001, 1002, 1001, 1002. But again, your chiropractor, your physio, your osteopath, you know, can guide you through specific exercises for you. So this is just general. I was a chiropractor for 25 years. I don't hold an active license right now, so I'm not recommending this specifically for you. I'm just saying in general, these are generally great exercises. And then the lymphatic support, so I talked about, right, the lymphatic drainage and some different tools. This is another tool, the suction. Chinese use this a lot, like in moxibustion and in cupping. And it really just brings energy, blood, lymph to the surface, so it helps shift things around. And this is, you know, a technique that you can use on your face too, and just sort of, you know, sucking the skin, and you can be pulling it, right? And that brings blood flow right to an area and helps move lymph around. So you can follow. I should have got the one that didn't have a break in it, but any particular, and you see me using the gua sha tool. So, you know, if you have really stubborn wrinkles like the 11 lines here, or like if you're having a furrowed brown, a lot of wrinkles at your forehead, you cross friction massage. So because the wrinkle goes this way, see how I'm going up and down? And that sort of releases, right, the epidermis and the top surface layer of the skin from the muscle underneath. Because if the skin starts adhering to the muscle, it will cause, you know, deeper wrinkles. So just moving it opposite, and also into your head. So this is a powerful, right, the muscles in your skull. And I should mention, my holistic esthetician, Dena, actually does buccal massage. She massages your face and head. So if you're looking for a specialized person who does this, and also skincare, it would be Dena Deal at Skin Deep Beauty at Skin Deep. I'll attach her information in here. But the muscles in your head are also really important for relaxing your face. So, and you don't have to have any specialized training. If you're doing it to yourself, you know, you just massage like if you were washing your head, right? And you can just move your scalp. You'll see what I'm doing here. You can move your scalp over your skull. And that just gives you some really great relaxation. There's so many different acupuncture points on your skull and on the back of your head. I won't go over now because it's useless information to you basically. But right at the suboccipital area, you can massage through here, that little bump or the suboccipital area, and there's, you know, great, or even over behind your ear, down into your hands. So don't underestimate the power in your own hands and in your own intuitive ability. So these are techniques that I think are safe and effective. It's a wore out phrase, I know, but are safe and effective for you to do at home. And if you need it, great, it will really help. If you don't need it, it's just going to help you maybe have reduced tension in your face and look more youthful. So a relaxed face, right, is often more beautiful than one that is stressed. And I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover in this video. I'm just checking my notes because I'm going to connect these videos, these educational videos, to the digital book when it comes up. So I'll explain kind of the anatomy and the physiology behind wrinkles, but then I'll have an active video that I can post next to it that you can kind of see it in practice. So in closing, I would maybe just summarize by saying that you can hold stress in your face just as well as you can hold it in any other part of your body. But your face is often the first thing that people see. And I do appreciate, in fact, I think I will read maybe a little piece of the book. Whoops, what happened here? My lights are out. Okay, I think I'll try to read a little piece of the book for you before we go. If I can get it quickly here. So, what is a wrinkle but a memory carved into existence? Every laugh erupted without restraint, every moment of surprise that lifted our eyebrows, every tear that we shed in grief or sorrow, every squint into a bright summer sunset has left a small signature on the canvas of our skin. Our faces are not merely surfaces, they're journals written by a lifetime of expression. So of course, science has its own poetic explanation. Wrinkles are the result of changes in the skin architecture as we age, and the production of collagen and elastin and proteins gives strength and elasticity and bounce, and that gradually declines. So in the book, I also give some supplements and some suggestions on different products. The skin becomes thinner and drier and less able to spring back after the thousands upon thousands of facial movements, right, over the course of the day, over the course of our lifetime. And then gravity, you've seen just the effects, right, of lifting that Orbicularis oculi. Gravity has lends its own artistic touch, so gently pulling our masterpiece downwards. So you've seen all the massage techniques that I were doing, right, was lifting up on the face. So perhaps the goal is not to wage war against every wrinkle, but again, understanding them. So what I used here, you see me wash my face, but I rarely dry my face. You know, when my face is still damp, that's when I put on the aloe vera or put on moisturizer. And most of the products that I use, there is another product I thought I had here. This is a beef tallow, beeswax and honey, and I use this one at night because it's a little thicker. But you can eat this. You can eat this because it's really just grass-fed beef tallow, organic bees pollen, and organic honey. So it smells delicious. It's just a little heavier, and it doesn't slide as well for the demonstration. So I didn't use that here. But let me just read a little bit more from chapter 4 here. So perhaps the goal is not to wage war against every wrinkle, and the beauty industry would have you spend a lot of money that really, you know, may not convince us. But again, the industry has spent billions convincing us that every line is an enemy to be erased. Yet and the other thing I just want to mention here is, you know, I have some friends that were really concerned about the COVID shots containing snake venom. Well, you know, Botox is snake venom that they've been using in the cosmetic industry for many years. So maybe, you know, you want to reconsider that because it actually creates a relaxing of the muscles. But instead of injecting yourself with snake venom, you know, you can relax the muscles yourself with your hands. So that doesn't mean that we can't support our skin. Just as a treasured violin is polished and conditioned and protected, continues to make it beautiful, our aging skin can be cared for with respect. So before we discuss creams and collagens and nutrition and sun protection and facial exercises and all the curious inventions humans have created in the pursuit of a smoother forehead, perhaps we should first pause and appreciate the remarkable map that we've been given. You know, this body is amazing. So today, you know, this is the raw me. So thank you to the Facebook friend who had that suggestion. I think I will keep this photograph for the cover because I got my hair done and that day turned out nice. But I do want to appreciate, right, that natural beauty is also part of our divine structure, and embracing that is really part of my message in this book. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. I'd invite you to reach for the stars. Healthtruth.blog is where I have the previous book I've written, 8 Steps to Aligning to Your Power. It talks about frequency and vibration and a different concept that you may find interesting. And some other books like The Lean Body Metabolism, Your Lean Body Machine, let's say, Vitality and Metabolism, and some other things. So it's at healthtruth.blog. This book, I'm doing kind of final revisions, and then I have to put it into a form that I can upload, a designer program, but hopefully it'll be ready in the next couple of weeks. I hate to say that because last time I said that, I got kind of canned, but I'm working on it anyway, and it'll be available soon. So I've put in it all the things that I'm learning for myself. This was my inspiration for writing a book about aging like a fine fiddle, because I want to age like a fine fiddle. So as I'm researching and understanding things for myself, I'm really just sharing my own practices with you. So I appreciate you being here. I love and appreciate all the feedback. So if you have a particular aging condition or something that you're particularly interested in, or feedback on anything that I've shared so far, please do share. I really feel like this is a group project, a teamwork project, and really my service has to be kind of where the void is, or the information that you see that you need right now. So healthtruth.blog is where you can find the information. The book hopefully be ready soon, inviting you to reach for the stars, envision and achieve your personal best, and most of all, enjoy the journey. This is Dr. Dena signing out.